from, Matthews to Eichel. He should be fine. But what does he do in the playoffs? That's where I think the pressure comes from him. It's completely playoff dependent, and whether or not he'll be able to, perform. Because that's always been, the knock on Marner, especially, those games 4 through 7. Can he live up to the moment, and can he perform in those big time games? Because if he doesn't, I think that people are going to start. It's like, okay, it didn't happen in Toronto, and now you've gone over to Vegas, and you're still laying goose eggs in game 7s and 6s and 5s. That will get noisy real quick for Mitch Marner if he lays a dud in the postseason this year.
Especially when you consider who he might be going up against, right, in rounds 1 or 2 in the playoffs. It's going to be McDavid. It's going to be Draisaitl. 2 guys who are notorious for carrying their teams in the playoffs. And if he goes up against them, and, as much as he'll be away from the Toronto spotlight, if he's playing Edmonton in the first round, that's a Canadian market right there. He ain't going to be able to escape the media in that regard. And those same questions could be asked of them, even though it's not in Toronto. So, and I think even in Vegas, Vegas has established that if you're not, getting the job done, it's not going to be a smooth. He's not going to be able to hide from it, right? I think sometimes like that. Yeah, the Vegas market, everything's kind of seems to be chill over there, but that organization has established a standard, right? How many players have been traded out? They don't have their they don't have their Conn Smythe Trophy winner anymore. Like, he got the job done, and then you know what? He's not. They decided to move on, right? They've traded away so many different players because it's all about what can we do to be better. Now, Mitch Marner has signed a contract that's made it kind of hard for Vegas to do that, but it also, I think, comes with a clear message that while you're going to be getting away from the pressure of Toronto, there is pressure in Vegas too.
Yeah. So they're both going to have immense pressure. I think we can agree with that. I think it's pressure differently. Like, I think there is pressure for Matthews to prove that he can perform to his heights without Mitch Marner. But for Marner, it's just, can he perform in general in the playoffs? Or was it the market, or is it him? Like, that's where I think the pressure comes for Mitch Marner, and he's got that question that he has to answer. So I think the answer is they both have a lot of pressure on them this year for very different reasons, and I'll be excited to see if they can both live up to it, right? Can they reverse narratives, and both have successful seasons? I guess we will find out very shortly here, at least for Austin Matthews. For Mitch, though, we're going to have to wait until next spring to find out if he can kind of get through that mental barrier that he's had late in playoff series, and see if he can alleviate the pressure there from that perspective. Really quickly, before we get going here, Dave, did you see this story in the it was in the Toronto Star? Yeah, the Toronto Star. Was it a Bruce Arthur piece? Yeah, Bruce Arthur, who hasn't done a lot of sports recently, by the way. He's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I haven't seen him write about sports too often these days.
I saw him in Vancouver actually for the Grey Cup, but he's
bouncing all over the place now.
Definitely bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, but he broke a massive story here. And this is kind of coming off the heels of Kawhi Leonard, who obviously, if you're a Toronto sports fan, you know Kawhi Leonard. One brilliant season with the Toronto Raptors. They won the championship. He was the best player on the team and arguably the best player in the NBA that year, and helped them win. And if, again, you follow the Toronto sports scene, you will know that Kawhi Leonard has been in the news cycle recently because it was found that he apparently was involved with some company that went bankrupt that owed Kawhi Leonard $28 million. And this company was owned or had an association with Steve Ballmer, who was the owner of the Clippers, and it's believed to be that there was some extra money off the books being given to Kawhi Leonard outside
to do work
of
without
NBA.
showing.
Do work. Well, this was to do whatever. It was plant seeding money or something like that for
Planting
some company.
trees. Yeah,
planting trees. Yeah. Anyways, they found a way to give him an extra $30 million off the books above, the max salary, so that they could lure Kawhi into LA as opposed to stick in Toronto. Apparently, that's not all that was asked, and there was a couple of things that were asked of the Raptors prior to him signing in LA that Kawhi and his family members wanted prior to him signing in LA. One was the same thing. They wanted. So here's kind of the quote from Bruce Arthur. He tweeted this out. In 2019, Kawhi Leonard's uncle asked the Raptors for a piece of the Leafs and a Paul George trade, while also asking for two big extras: no show sponsorships and ownership shares in outside companies, which is where the Aspiration company apparently may have popped into the equation with the Clippers, where he magically ended up with an extra $30 million. But no show sponsorships, where essentially he gets sponsored and doesn't have to do anything. So what the hell that's all about? Basically the exact same thing. But the Paul George trade, which was given to him by the Clippers, and they regret that very much so, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went back the other way in that deal. But a piece of the Leafs. They asked for a piece of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They wanted ownership stake in the most profitable and worth highest, wealthiest hockey team in the world, the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what Kawhi and Uncle Dennis asked for in their negotiations with the Toronto Raptors. That's insane. Absolutely insane.
Ludicrous.
Like
why would MLS I don't know how Uncle Dennis could actually go up to Masai Ujiri and be like, Masai, this is what we want. I can imagine what Masai's reaction. First off, they obviously denied the request.
Yeah, they told him to kick rocks, go bleep yourself, have fun in LA. And Steve Ballmer clearly gave some of this stuff to him. I mean, the Clippers got Paul George, and it sounds like there were some no-show sponsorships, which is what this Aspiration thing was all about. So they did get some of it in LA. Toronto was unwilling to do that, but I thought it was, when I read this and found out that they had asked for a piece of the Maple Leafs, it's like, do you know how much the Leafs are worth? And they're asking for ownership stake in this team. Like, the Maple Leafs are worth billions of dollars, and they wanted a percentage of this team as a behind the scenes, handshake, closed door deal that obviously is completely illegal. Just asinine, absolute wild demand here. That I'm glad the MLSE and Masai Ujiri clearly said no to, because that's just insane.
I don't understand. First off, why the Clippers would have. I understand the Clippers were so desperate to get Kawhi Leonard. We those who follow that story know that they had sent scouts all the time to Toronto games.